Good afternoon. It's Brian and Trish coming to you live in Atlanta, Georgia for these urban times. I got my good brother Ramon Harris. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, Chief? How you living, bro?
Hey man, just maintaining. How we connected
You're right, right, right.
by way of Clubhouse.
Yeah,
Shout out to D Hill.
yeah, man.
So
Shout out to the Rich Trapper, man.
yeah, shout out to D. And that's a personal homie and definitely a tuner, a live tuner in these urban times. So for
hmm
folks who don't know you, say give you a little background of who you are.
Man, I am originally from Anchorage, Alaska. I am a professional ball player. Been playing. I'm going on my 11th year now. Um, really about to be my 12th. Man, that's crazy. But yeah, 11's going on 12 year. I played ball at the University of Kentucky in college. I've been playing all over the world, man, and always willing to talk to somebody, just about anybody, man. If I can help one person, man, I did my job.
Right. Definitely. So you definitely know the ins and outs of the recruiting world,
hmm
and definitely playing the high level D1, and definitely playing overseas and in G League as you played.
hmm
So kids don't know like what is the process? What's the process that you went through uh, getting recruited?
Man, that joke was crazy, man. It's really a movie. So I'm playing AAU with the Oakland Soldiers the summer before my senior year,
I've
and
heard that team.
yeah, we were solid, man. We got about 4 or 5 pros on the team, guys playing pro ball now. Um, and I remember we went to Vegas, and we were like one of those teams like right above the middle in the AAU circuit. And we went to
Hmm.
Vegas, and we just clicked at the right time, and we made it to the Final Four. And so it was us, D1 Greyhounds, who had OJ Mayo and Billy Skywalker. And then on the other side of the bracket was Mean Streets that had Derrick Rose and Eric Gordon. And they faced off against Indy Speaks that had Daquan Cook, Mike Conley, Greg Oden. You know what I'm saying? So we were really the underdogs per se
Ohio
because,
State.
yeah, the Ohio State crew. So, we made it to the Final Four in Vegas out of like, I don't know how many teams, but, for us to make it to the Final Four was like big deal for us. And after that, I'm getting recruited by basically all the Pac-10 schools. It was Pac-10 at that time. I was getting recruited by all the Pac-10 schools and all the D1 schools on the West and some on the East Coast. So I go home, play my senior year, go back to Alaska, and I just won my fourth state championship in March. And so after I won my fourth state championship, I was really about to commit to USC. And USC called me and was like, "Hey man, you're not eligible." I'm like, "What you mean I'm not eligible? Like my grades is good." They was like, "Nah, not that. Um, your class, a math class that you took your sophomore year of high school, is not clearinghouse eligible." And so when word got out of that, I lost every scholarship offer that I had.
So how is the sports team come out of Alaska?
Man, we got a lot of talent, man. We got a dude right now who's playing for Auburn. We got another dude that played for UConn. Myself played for Kentucky. Mario played for Kansas. Trajan Langdon played for Duke. Boozer
That's
played for
right. Yeah,
Duke.
training is from Alaska. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. There's so many people, man, that kind of flew under the scenes going to big schools. And then going to some smaller D1s. Like we have a lot of talent, man. We just don't have the accolades or the resources like a California, a Texas, a New York, or Florida. Because there's so many tournaments going on. For us to travel, it really takes us to travel. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So we have to pick and choose, kind of pick and choose wisely. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But when I played for the Oakland Soldiers, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in Oakland. My mom's from Oakland. My grandmother still lives in Oakland. I still have family in Oakland, so I just stayed at my grandmother's house, and we was playing almost every weekend. whether we was going to Santa Clara, whether we was going to Vegas, whether we was going to Southern Cal, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the access of basketball is so different. And that's the only difference I could really say because we have 450,000 people in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we got about 4 or 5 malls, downtown, you know what I'm saying? We got everything any other city has. We just out the way.
Right.
Yeah, we just out the way. Right. We just out the way. And so like when we did travel, you know what I'm saying? We played in Texas, we played in Tennessee, and we would play teams, and they'd be like, oh, we playing a team from Alaska, da da da. And we just be warming up, they going crazy, throwing windmill and everything between the legs, kiki laughing. But once the ball went up, you know what I'm saying? We earned people's respect for sure. Yeah, they thought we was sweet for sure.
Yeah,
they thought we was sweet.
So would you say Anchorage is more of a basketball town or football?
Or
a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both, man. We had some people come out of Alaska football do their thing at the college level. I just think that, you know, basketball has had a little more success professionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a few guys come from Alaska, man, and, you know, do their thing at the NFL level. I just think we have more relevancy with basketball than football.
Right. So take us back, you know, your childhood growing up. You did say your mom played. So your mom also have a unique story about, you know what I'm saying, when your mom found out she was when you were coming into the world.
Yeah.
So give a little people a background about that.
Yeah, man. So my mom played ball. Like I said, my mom is from Oakland. So, you know, for her to play ball, yeah, she's from the town. She played ball, and my grandfather was in the military. So her sophomore year of high school, they moved to Alaska. And my mom, I actually graduated from the high school she graduated from, which was really dope. And my mom played ball, and she was a killer. Like, she was a small forward /4. And, you know what I'm saying? She was like a beast. And I keep hearing stories from people. But my mom went to she went to Highline in Seattle to play college ball. And then she transferred back to the university in Anchorage. And my mom was playing. And my mom played college ball until she was 6 months pregnant with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro,
she played till she was 6 months. Yeah. She was 6 months pregnant. And like, you know, I got some articles with my mom. Like, she was getting like 22 points, 12 boards, 20 points, 16 boards, like 15 points, 17 boards. Like, my mom was a hooper. You know what I'm saying?
She putting up double dubs while she was pregnant.
Yeah, like while she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And like, my mom said she would have kept playing because she was like, I was fine. Like, I didn't have any issues, like nothing. But her college coach was like, listen, I don't feel comfortable with you. You starting to show now, and, you know, you get hit. And my mom was a physical player. So he was like, you know, you play physical. If you get hit, something happened. He was like, I don't think I could live with it. So he kind of like, you know, asked my mom to step aside. And my mom, you know, she kept me. And she played till she was 6 months pregnant. And then the coach asked her to sit down, and she had me. And she tried to get back in the game, but it wasn't the same for her. As she told me, she was like, you know, I just kind of chose another career path after that.
No, that's crazy, because that definitely shows the power of women. Because everybody talks about,
Facts.
you know, when Serena was playing while she was pregnant. I have another homegirl who played in high school while she was pregnant. Your mom played while she was pregnant. Like, that's crazy. You said your mom was already a bruiser at that. So
right.
You already know how if you hoop, you know, you catch elbows, you get hit, she falling. She may fall on her stomach, possibly. Like, that's crazy. The fact that
taking the charge, you know what I'm saying? Anything.
Taking charges.
Yeah, anything.
Like, nothing, never seriously. She never had no serious pain or anything like that, or injuries that prevent her from carrying out the pregnancy or any the effects that happen to you. So that's definitely something crazy. So since, you know, saying you were Holly, like how many go back to your high school days? Who all were the top schools that were recruiting you?
Man, I was getting recruited by all the Pac-10 schools. So that was Washington State, Cal Berkeley, UCLA, USC, Arizona State, Um, man, Stanford was kind of in there, but I don't think academically I was Stanford's level. You know what I'm saying? Like
Stanford's a different level.
Yeah, Stanford's a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really getting recruited by almost every D1 school on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And there were some schools on the East Coast as well. But like for me, it was just a dream. You know what I'm saying? Because growing up in Alaska, like everything I seen was through a TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Great Alaska Shootout that used to be one of the best college tournaments. Like I done seen Vince Carter play Stephon Marbury. I seen Dwayne Wade play when he was in college. I seen Kenyon Martin play in college. Like I seen so many pros that are like Hall of Famers. I seen them while they're in college because of the tournament that we had. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, when I get older, like,
this is what you know
what I'm saying? This is what I want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? See North Carolina play Georgia Tech. You know, Stephon Marbury. I didn't know who Stephon Marbury was at the time, but he was killing. I was like, man, who is this? Who's the guard for Georgia Tech? And I just follow players.
You about to make H happy. That's one of his New York brothers. I already know.
Man, listen. When I seen him play North Carolina at the Great Alaska Shootout, I was like, yo, who is this guard? Like, because I knew about Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew about some of the other guys on the Tar Heel team, but I didn't know exactly who he was. I was like, man, he cold. And I followed him after the Great Alaska Shootout. And when he got drafted, I'm like, I was a fan, like from the time I seen him in person. And then when he became an NBA player, like obviously, like how could you not be a fan? So but it was just crazy, like yeah, like that's like so like I seen a lot of things firsthand of high level basketball. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I want that. At a young age, I was like, man, I want that. I used to say that all the time, like I'm gonna go to North Carolina. That's what I always used to say. I'm gonna go to North Carolina. I'm gonna go to NBA.
See, we already cool. Like I told you the other day, I'm a Tar Heel fan, so we already locked in.
You know? Yeah, man. I was a Tar Heel fan till I came a Wildcat, man.
And I mean, that's
till I came a Wildcat.
Yeah, then that's cool. We cool. You're a Kentucky guy.
Yeah,
so,
man.
It
was crazy. North Carolina called me though. They called me though, man, and that was that made my day. They called me.
Who was when Carolina did call you? That was Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's right. You came out 06.
06, yeah.
So since we did talk about this story, so what transpired during the recruit process that kind of had you go another detour route to get you back to Kentucky?
Yeah. So
and how the NCAA is the NCAA.
Man, it's wild, man. Like people, when I tell people the story, they'd be like, "I made it up," but I'd be like, "Man, you go on track record and see when I tell the story. I tell the same story every time." But so I was getting recruited. I was about to go to USC. I was about to commit to USC. And they called me and told me, I was like, man, you're not eligible because of a math class you took your sophomore year. Mind you, they told me this in March of my senior year. I graduated that May. So I was 2 months from walking across the stage. And in that 2 months period of time, I lost every scholarship offer that I had. Every single one. And I'm talking about, like, I had about 15 plus offers, legit offers. And I lost every single one because of that math class my sophomore year. And it was just so wild because, like, I went from top of the hill to underneath the bottom. You know what I'm saying? At 17, 18 years old, really dealing with, like, my first, like, tragedy. You know what I'm saying? And so I went to public school from 7:30 to 2 o'clock. And then I went to a private school from, like, 3 to 9 at night. And from 3 to 9, all I did was math at like a secondary school where I just could do math all day. And they had somebody there watching me, signing off on the work and assignments that I did, and like basically making sure I'm along the way so I can get that credit.
So pretty much you're making up 2 years of work, and you about to be finished with school. So you're done. So you pretty much making up work from 2 years ago. So you just get credit. That is so trash.
Yeah, bro. So, like, you talking about discipline and learning a work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like when I say everything was taken from me from college basketball, like literally I had schools like Wichita State, UCLA was coming off 2 years back-to-back Final Four appearances at that time. That's when they had Aaron Aflalo, Josh Shipp, Jordan Farmar. Like they was like, you know what I'm saying? And they was loaded, and it was like, hey, we want you to come in and be a piece of this. Like we're gonna go to the Final Four. Like we want you to be a piece of this. You know what I'm saying? Like that was taken away from me. You know what I'm saying? So
that's trash.
Man, dealing with that. And what was so wild about it is, not to throw shade on my high school, but since the NCAA clearinghouse started, I'm the first person from my high school to go D1. So my counselors didn't even know what the clearinghouse was.
They're not used to that.
They're not used to that. And you know what I'm saying? It's been so long. Like, so I played with Mario Chalmers my freshman year. He's a year older than me.
Right, yeah.
So we played together my freshman year, his sophomore year. Then I transferred, and me and some other guys transferred to West Anchorage, where my mom went to. They were the worst team in the city. We transferred there, and we ended up winning the championship the next 3 years at that school. So they weren't used to success for a long period of time. I mean, it might have been since my mom left, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't used to that, let alone used to D1 colleges coming to that school. You know what I'm saying? Right. And recruiting a player. So my counselors had no idea what clearinghouse was. You know what I'm saying? They just put me in classes for me to graduate appropriately. They didn't know nothing about clearinghouse. So, that was just like a whole process. And so from about April to about July, I was at that secondary school. And after May, I was there from like 9 in the morning to 9 at night.
Yeah, that's crazy. So since did you end up graduating at that school, or did you have to take, well, I know because you told me, but the other detour route that you had to go on the East Coast?
So what I did was, even though I was going to that secondary school, I still graduated from my public school. I still graduated and walked across the stage because I passed my requirements as a high school student.
High school, okay.
I just had to go to that secondary school to kind of overlap that math class my sophomore year.
For the NCAA.
For the NCAA. So after that, my junior and senior year, we played a school called National Christian Academy. We played them twice, once each year. And the coach was trying to get me to come play for him in the DMV, but my parents were like, nah, like that's too far. Right, that's too far for him to be shipped off by himself at that time. So when he got wind of what was going on, he called my parents and said, man, listen, send Ramon to me. Let him play in the summer circuit again. If you get some schools coming, that way he doing something while he waiting on the NCAA. So I went to DC. We played all summer. And during that time, I didn't know it. But, the NCAA got wind of what I did to make up that class. So they really sent people up to Alaska to talk to my counselors at my public school and talk to the people at the secondary school. And I don't even know if secondary school is the right term for it, but they sent people there to investigate to make sure it was a legit building.
Legit, yep.
Make sure that there was legit students in there, and there were other people graduating from that school besides me, quote unquote, graduating from that school, and that the work was really signed off for. I had no idea.
Make sure it's a really accredited school.
Right. To make sure that it was legit. And shout out to the people at the school, man. I haven't talked to the lady in a few years, but what she did was to help me. She went through a whole nother process to make her school clearinghouse eligible, just so I can be eligible.
Oh, yeah, that's a blessing for real.
Man, blessing. When I tell you that God is good, man, like, she didn't have to, like, you know how hard it is to get your school, a whole school, to be clearinghouse eligible? And she did it in a time span of between April and July.
Ooh.
Right. She did it just for me, so that, because she told me when I had came back home, she was like, do you know that this and this happened? I said, no, I had no idea. She was like, yeah, but she's like, I did this. They told me I need to get this done. She's like, I did it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you should have no issues. Like, when I say that I really had God really put people in my life to back me, like, this is how I know I'm supposed to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know I mean, there might be some other people out there in the world, but she literally did all of that process. Dealing, you know how hard it is dealing with the clearinghouse. I know college coaches that hate dealing with clearinghouse. You know what I'm saying?
Clearinghouse is trash.
Yeah, she took them on just to make sure that I got to my opportunity.
No, that's definitely shout out to her. You know, I don't know her name, but
Man.
shout out to her because that is you take on the clearinghouse with that first of all that short time span from April to July, just to get your school clearinghouse ready, and for them to come do their investigation, make sure everything's legit, make sure everything is credited just for you. That is huge, and definitely for the fact that let you you know, say give you the time to pursue your dreams and try to get back when you already supposed to be. But you know, what I'm saying, it's like we all said, the NCAA is the NCAA.
Yeah, I mean, I understand them. They're trying to uphold the standard. I truly understand. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, I'm like, dang, they did all that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all sent people up there to investigate me, and like you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm thinking on a small scale, but it's really bigger than that.
Right. So they probably think like, all right, he graduated, but how was he able to get this math class done in this short time span?
Right.
When he just found out that he is not eligible, quote unquote, from a class from 2 years ago. So how was he able to get this done? So let's go see. Was he really doing the work, or did he have somebody do the work for him? So, but then that's definitely, like you said, it's your work ethic. That's definitely a testament to you to see like, all right, I had a little roadblock in the way. Let me go around this and put the work in, do the work.
Yeah, I did. I let people know I did every piece of math assignment, mathematical problem. I did every bit. One thing that they did not do, she didn't let me slide now. Right. She was like, you know, you gonna do your work. Like this ain't no pushover. And I appreciated her for that because, you know what I'm saying, when you come in there, you think like, oh, it's not a whole bunch of work. Like I can just breeze through this. She was like, no. She was like, you can come and go as you please. But she stayed on me. Ramon, your lunch is only, you know, an hour. Where you been? Like she was on me because she seen the bigger picture. I saw it, but I didn't really know what I was looking at. She knew what I was looking at. So she made sure that I got things done.
Oh, that's definitely a shout out to her. So talk about the since you did say you had to play basketball in the DC area. So how was DC area playing that summer?
Man, it was lovely, man. I became a whole new player because of that. You know what I'm saying? Just playing high level talent every day. You know what I'm saying? Whether I was in practice with my teammates or we playing in Pittsburgh, West Virginia, New York, you know what I'm saying? Playing in DC for the weekend. Wherever going to North Carolina, like it was constant competition. And, you know, growing up in Alaska, when I played with the soldiers, it was constant competition. And no offense, when I came home, like I was just two different people. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, we played every weekend. We were somewhere playing, and like during the week, practice twice a day, maybe, you know, depending on how we played that weekend. Like, you know what I'm saying? It really got me to a whole nother level, and it was just so crazy. Like when I tell people this story, man, they don't believe it. So we were playing in West Virginia, and at this time, like word was getting out that there's a possibility that I was going to be cleared. So school started calling again, and school started calling, and I'm playing good in these tournaments. And, you know, my prep coach, shout out to Coach Brown at National Christian Academy in Fort Washington. He was like, hey, Slim, he was like, you know, you could really do some things. And he was like, man, these schools is calling. Like, don't drop off. Like, don't let that get to you. Like, these schools are calling. So I'm like, okay, cool. And at that time, he was pitching me to Georgetown, and Georgetown was like, yeah, we love them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shoot, Georgetown, like, you know what I'm saying? That's like the black staple. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to college hoops, you know what I'm saying? Georgetown's like the black staple. And so I was just like, man, Georgetown, like, And there was a guy that they had on team named Jesse Sapp. He played for them, and when I played against them for 2 years, and he went to Georgetown. So I'm like, Sapp, yo, how is it? Blah, blah, blah. He was like, "You sure you want to come here? Because the Big East is a dog." I'm like, "Man."
That's back when the Big East was still the Big East.
Yeah, that's when Big East was the Big East. And he was like, "Yeah, man." He was like, "Just know it ain't no joke." I said, "All right, bet." So, I'm in my mind, I'm like, "Man, I'm going to Georgetown." And, so I'm sitting there waiting on Clearinghouse and playing, and we're in West Virginia. And I get a rebound, push it down court, dunk it. I get another rebound, push it down court, dunk it again. Then I pass it to him. I get a rebound, pass to my teammate. We running down court. He throw me a lob. I dunk it. So I got 3 dunks in a row. And AAU, when you start dunking, people going crazy. More people come around your court.
The gym started. The
Yeah,
court started
the gym started.
standing room.
Right. So I'm like, okay, we hype. We winning and everything. And what I didn't know is that Tubby Smith's son, who was coaching, I believe, at Tennessee Tech, he was on the court next to me, and they had offered a kid already. He was with assistant Coach Rougeau, who was assistant to Kentucky. Kentucky had already offered this kid that was playing next to me. But when that crowd got crazy and I did what I did, they came to our court. So his son called his dad and was like, "Dad, there's a kid here. I think you need to recruit him. You're going to love him." I had no idea. So at that time, you know what I'm saying, I was dealing with Clearinghouse. I was dealing with schools. I was like, "Man, F it, I'm ready to commit and go home." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to go home, man. Like, coach tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, the little things. And my parents was like, "Well, you got one more tournament, and we going to follow through. No matter how you feel, you going to first finish what you started."
All right.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So we go to Nationals in Orlando the next weekend. We make it to the quarterfinals of the playoffs. And we playing, and I remember I was at the free throw line, and I seen this older gentleman walk in, Nike hoodie or zip up jacket. He had a dad hat on, some jeans, look like a regular dude. So I see him.
Old player.
Yeah, I see him, and I see him looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, there's somebody dad. Like, it must be somebody dad." So I keep playing, and I finished with like 25. And at that time, UNC Charlotte was there and Providence was there, and I knew they had already offered me. So I'm sitting there and I'm playing, and after the game, we end up losing that game. So after the game, man, I got about 30 missed calls from my mom. And I'm a little annoyed. Like, I hate losing. Like, I hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. Like, when I lose, like, I need a minute. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig that. that.
So I finally called my mom back when I get outside or whatever. And she was like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "Outside the gym." Like, da da da. I'm like, "What's going on?" Like, you called me 30 times. Like, and she was like, "I don't know what you did," but she was like, "Tubby Smith from the University of Kentucky called me. He offered you a scholarship over the phone." I'm like, "Wait, hold on, what?" She was like, "Yes, he already know who you are. He already knows what's going on with Clearinghouse. He gonna call Clearinghouse tomorrow and help you get out of that situation. And he gonna help you and vouch for you and this and that. And he offered you a scholarship over the phone." I was like, "Man, I ain't even talked to this man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know. I knew who Tubby Smith was, but like, I ain't never like, oh, hello, Coach Smith. Like, I'm such and such." Man, whatever he seen, he loved in me. And he called my mom and offered the scholarship to my mom while I was playing.
Well, that's the power. Also, the power of the good man upstairs and
the good man upstairs, man.
The AAU tournaments, like Sam, is when people start hearing, saying somebody doing something, oohs and ahs, people go start moving to the next court and see what's going on, see who's doing what, and you never know who's in the stands.
You never know.
Say, if you had three dunks, then if you had 3 dunks, then you wouldn't have had Tubby Smith's son look at you. Then you wouldn't have had him call his dad. Your dad go and look at you. He sitting in the stands. He call your mama. Then next you know you. Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, was anybody? Well, I'm pretty sure. Once you got that call, that's where you made your commitment. You going to Kentucky.
Yeah, I knew when I finally sat down, when I finally talked to him on the phone, and he explained to me, and he asked me some questions. He said, "Ramon, listen," he said, one thing about me. He said, I give you one chance. He said,
Mm.
now I can handle anything, but I cannot handle you lying to me. I said, okay. He said, so what's going on with your situation? I explained everything down to him to a T. He said, now, did you really do the work? I said, yes, sir. I did every page. And he said, okay. Now, did you go to a legit school? Yes, sir. I went to a legit school. It's its own building. It is known as a school. It's not like a multi-versatile establishment. Like, no, it's a school strictly for kids who fall behind, whether they get in trouble. Whatever. He said, okay. He said, all right, I'll call you back. Next thing I know, the next time he called me, he said, Ramon, I talked to Clearinghouse. You should be getting a call or a letter soon. Let you know that you cleared. Like, Tubby really vouched for
you. Yo, that's crazy. And for the fact that you shouldn't have to went through that because then see the clearinghouse is the clearinghouse.
Right.
But so now you get cleared.
Mm-hmm.
You get down. Was there anybody else besides Kentucky that may have gotten you?
Yeah. So, no offense to any of the coaches, but I really wanted to play for a black coach. And my top three was Florida State, Georgetown, and Kentucky. And then I had some other schools that I really like. I really liked Tennessee. I really liked USC. I really liked Arizona. But when it came down to it, these are really my true options. Mm-hmm. Florida State, Georgetown, and Kentucky was like my final three.
Was Florida State what's his name? Frank? Was he still there? Was he there? Or he wasn't there yet?
No, he was there. The same coach that's there now. He was there.
Okay. And well, speak about that. We're playing for a black coach because sometimes it's a little different. Saying play for a black coach. So just elaborate on why you chose that route of playing for a black coach. I want to play for a black coach.
I mean, I wanted to, because I seen, Georgetown, historically, you know what I'm saying? John Thompson at the time, his, he was kind of like on his way out and his son was moving in. John Thompson, John Thompson III was like establishing himself at Georgetown. And, he was kind of overseeing his son, making sure, like kind of showing him the ropes as he was on his way out. And so it was like, if you think about the movies, like, like He Got Game and Above the Rim, like especially Above the Rim, he come around that corner playing for Georgetown, hit that big shot. So, Georgetown historically for our culture.
Out to you. Right.
Yeah, it sticks out to you. So I was like, man, Georgetown. And I was getting acclimated and I was seeing myself getting better in the DMV area. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, if I feel like I improved just in one summer, imagine being here, you know what I'm saying, year round or, for a school year or whatever the case may be. So I was really liking Georgetown. Florida State at the time, the basketball was just up and coming. They had Al Thornton, who just went to the league the year I was coming in. So they was like, that's somebody we could see you possibly being like following Al Thornton. Right, following him. And they was like, you guys play the same position. That's the kind of role we want to put you in. So I was like, okay, cool. And then, just talking to Tubby Smith, man, it was just like, he talked to me. We didn't even talk about basketball. And he was just like, I want to know what type of person you are. I want to know this. I want to know that. You could tell when somebody's genuinely wanting to know you. And then with the whole situation with the clearinghouse, I was like, man, there's no way I don't go to Kentucky.
He stuck his neck out there for you and he vouched for you to get you.
And the crazy thing for him was he told me, he said, listen, if you decide to play for me or not, I'm still going to do this.
No, that's big because we know how college coaches are. They'll say that, and then you decide to go somewhere else, and then they might go back on what they did, and then now you got to go through this whole process all over again.
Right.
So
Tubby knew, like he knew the schools that was recruiting me, and he just asked me like, "What do you want out of a school?" And I was never ashamed to say like, "Look, coach, I know where I'm coming from, but I want to make it to the ultimate level." and I don't mind working hard for it. And it's just like when we just sat down and talked to him, like it was just like, no offense to the other coaches, because we sat down and talked to them, I was geeked too. You know what I'm saying? Like I was geeked. Like I'm thinking like Georgetown, like, you know what I'm saying? Georgetown, even Florida State. I was like, man, Florida State, man. My dad lived down here in Florida. He lived about 3 hours away from Florida State. So I'm like, man, my dad can come watch me play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so many things that I could go with any school, but Kentucky was just like, man, I can't say no.
Big Blue Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So you make the decision. You choose to go to Kentucky, one of the big blue bloods.
Mm-hmm.
Who was all in your class?
Jody Meeks, Derek Jasper.
Jody, my guy.
Yeah, Jody, man. He was just a guest for the second time on my podcast show a couple weeks ago. Derek Jasper was a top 5 point guard in the nation in his senior class. Perry Stevenson, who was top 10 in his position in our senior class. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. Myself, Jody, Derek Jasper, Perry Stevenson. Okay, yeah, that's us. That was the freshman class.
So y'all had a nice class. What y'all end up? What was y'all preseason ranking? If you remember what y'all preseason ranking was?
What's crazy is I didn't officially step foot on campus till Thanksgiving. My freshman
year already started. Oh,
yeah. So I missed the summer school, and I missed the semester of college.
So you didn't start playing until after Christmas.
I couldn't do nothing with the team till after Christmas. until Christmas break. So with everything being even when I got cleared like August 2006, and Kentucky was trying to get me there as early as possible. Mm-hmm. It was like, you already kind of missed the summer, and we need to get you here and get you acclimated, and hopefully we can get you going. So then I missed the first week of college, and they were like, it's just the first week, like we'll get you going, blah blah blah. So then Tubby calls me back and says, man, listen, you're cleared, but you got to take the SAT again. So I studied for the SAT, and the reason why I took the SAT was because with the class that I took to make up my sophomore year, they had to add that into my school, and add that into my transcripts and everything. So therefore, my SAT test requirements were different. So they were like, just retake the test. That way you can come in now instead of waiting until next year. So it was like, it's really up to you. You can wait till next year, or you can just come in now. I was like, man, I'm ready to come to college. So I studied.
You ain't gonna be doing nothing.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm not gonna let nothing else, stop me from getting there. Like I'm almost there. So I went back to the secondary school that I was at, and I told her, I said, listen, I need to do really good on this SAT. Can you help me prepare for it? So back again, I'm back in there, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m, studying for the SAT. And I ended up taking the SAT, and I got 10 points more than what I needed, really. It was really the math part of my SAT that was like the part I really needed to focus on. So I ended up doing that. I got 10 points more than I needed. I was officially clear, like officially.
No holds barred.
Not just in the system, like completely, like nothing holding me back. And so because they had already started school, it was too late for me to enroll. So I just went to Kentucky during Thanksgiving break, and I was just working out. And I couldn't do nothing with the team. I couldn't eat pregame meals with the team. I couldn't practice with the team. I couldn't travel with the team. So I was literally on campus just working out.
Getting your own shots up, being your own strength and conditioning coach and all that by yourself.
Well, I could work with the strength and conditioning coaches. I just couldn't work with them while the team was working with them.
Oh, so you had to get them when okay.
So while they were in class, I was with the strength coach, and then I was with the coaches doing individual workouts. And then while they had practice, I would literally just be sitting there watching them practice.
Because you couldn't do anything till December.
I couldn't do anything. Yeah.
So when you finally get everything, straight, you cleared, you finally enrolled officially, and in January. How quick did things take for you to to get acclimated and for things to take off?
Man, listen, it took me a minute. You know what I'm saying? It took me a nice little minute, man. Cause I was able to practice with the team December 18th. We played Louisville December 19th. So I went from rivalry game, like one of the biggest college basketball rivalry games in college basketball. I went from a high school standout, I guess you can call it, to non-eligible, to partially eligible, to fully eligible from March of 2006 till Christmas of 2006.
And then your first official game.
My first official game. Yes. My first
Kentucky Louisville.
Kentucky Louisville. And I remember it was put out there like I am officially eligible. Like I'm officially dressed out. And I remember some like Kentucky fans was like, Tubby better not play him. This and that. Like this is a big rivalry game. And I knew Tubby wasn't going to play me. I wasn't ready, like at all. Like if anything, if Tubby put me out there, he just knew I was going to play hard. Like play hard and just try to be aggressive and just try to make my 2 minutes in the floor. But he didn't play me. Tubby knew outside of basketball, he knew like I'm not going to put him in that situation.
He didn't want you out there look crazy or anything like that.
Yeah, he didn't want me out there looking crazy. And then, Kentucky fans are passionate. So if I would have came in there and messed up, like it would, you know what I'm saying? Like he
on his head.
Yeah, he prevented me from so much like that I didn't even know about. But yeah, man, that was my first official college basketball game. It was a big time rivalry game.
Ooh. So what was your stat line if you remember? Through your freshman year?
Man, that was probably like 0.5, 0.5 rebounds, 0.5 assists. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really play. I didn't really play my freshman
year. And that's a good thing that you learned. Like we talked about off air. Your story is compelling, more reasonable for kids that's had aspiration to play at D1 schools that make it go through stuff like this or have a transgression that may happen that may prevent them, from getting to the next level. But you went through all that just in that 6 or 7 month span from knowing that you're about to walk off stage and you're going to play on the USC, and then you get a loophole, and no, bro, you're not going right. No, you're not going right now because this class that you took 2 years ago that you thought you were just taking just to be
2 years ago.
And then that happens. Like, you probably look in the face like, man, what is this? This ain't got nothing to do with college. Like, bro,
right.
Like,
I'm like, y'all just now telling me this?
Right. Like, y'all could have told me this last year or something like that. I could have took it going to my senior year. That would be cool.
Right.
So you go through that. You had to go across the country. They go to D.C. and then play. And then, as we all know, college coaches get wind of you, saying something happening. Oh, we're going to back off of him. He's ain't no telling what may have been said or whatever. Oh, this may happen, that may have happened. So then you had to go take the alternate route and go to D.C. and then you get with the other coach. Now you playing well, and now your name get back out there. And this is pre-social media, so
right.
That's nothing. Saying now this all this word of mouth. Facebook probably getting started. This probably still MySpace era. Yeah, MySpace era still. So
yeah, it was MySpace era still.
Is so now we dating we dating ourselves.
Top 5 friends, top 10 friends.
right. So now you got that, and then so now you propel in that area. So now the schools are coming back. Now you're on the East Coast. Now you have the East Coast schools looking at you. And you still have the West Coast schools that remember your name, and it's like, okay, this kid was, saying he still had talent. Okay, now let's see what he can do with this layoff per se that he had. You put the work in with that, and then now you got ultimately you got to Kentucky, which is you probably didn't think about 6 months ago, thinking about going to Kentucky. You think going to stay on the West Coast.
I was, man, it was so bad at that time. I even tried to go JUCO, and they told me they couldn't take me.
Oh, well, that's definitely bad. JUCO can't take you. JUCO take everybody.
Listen, I was being recruited by I forgot which JUCO it was, but it was in Kansas, and they were the number 1 JUCO in the nation. They knew what was going on. They were trying to get me.
I know who you're talking about. There's
it's in Kansas. It's in Kansas.
Yeah, some places.
It was like they was on me tough. Like, listen, come here. We'll make room for you. Like, wanted me heavy, and I was like, nah, I don't know if I want to go JUCO. And like they kept talking to my mom, and my mom said that she was like, Ramon, maybe you should just go JUCO. Maybe this is your storyline. I was like, okay, and I finally, like, it took me a few days to like mentally accept that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know what? I can go to JUCO 1 year because I'm clear, so I don't have to be there 2 years. It's just 1 year to really, like, what I'm saying, put myself on the map. And then I can go to any college I want to. I can just leave. Man, they called me back and said, man, we can't take you. Man, I was like, God, dog, man. Like, I can't catch a break. But, looking back at it now, it's just like, what God has for you, He has for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you can get there the easy way or the hard way. You know what I'm saying?
But you'll get there.
Yeah, one way or another. So, it just is a process, man. Like, when I tell people the story, they be like, man, you lying. I'm like, nah, like, this ain't no, everything that I'm saying is factual. Like,
right.
Nothing's exaggerated. Nothing is put on for it. Like, I tell this story because there's some kids out here, man, that really don't know. Like, there's some kids out here that, they just, I don't want to say coast through, but, they're prepared at a certain type of level to where they just skip the process that I went through. And there's some kids out there that have no idea whatsoever.
There's definitely going to the next level, not even going to the league, going to college. Like, there's a lot that goes into, these kids picking these big schools. Like, anything can happen. And nowadays, we know some of these kids may not be ready for that. They're like, oh, no, I'm not going through that. I'm going the G League route, which ain't a bad route now.
No, it's not a bad route. Right.
Or going overseas, i.e. Brandon Jennings. Because Brandon Jennings had that same, probably not to that extent, but he had the same not being cleared, not being able to get to Arizona. So he had to take the route and go overseas.
Yep. And Brandon Jennings, his situation was one of the reasons why they investigated me so hard. Because that was right when allegedly he didn't take a class, or somebody took a test from him allegedly. I don't know exactly what it was. That was 2006. But, he had something going on with that. And because Tubby was calling on my behalf, they was like,
why?
We're gonna figure this out. Like, so that was a part of the reason why they sent people up there.
So Brandon Jennings, shout out to Brandon Jennings.
Hey man, shout out Brandon Jennings, man.
Shout out Brandon Jennings, the tough crowd.
Allegedly, man. Listen, Brandon, if Brandon get wind of this, I don't think you did that, bro. I think you did everything you supposed to, man. They just hated on you, bro.
No, I think he was too. Because
yeah,
that was pre-social media. Social media was just getting buzz for real, and Brandon Jennings was
he was a highlight sensation.
He was a highlight sensation. If Overtime and House of BR Hoops and House of Highlights, all that stuff was out when Brandon Jennings was in high school.
Yeah, man, yeah, he was going crazy. Man, he was going crazy.
He was doing stuff we want to see.
I think a school hated on him, man. I think he,
I
think a school was like kind of upset that he picked Arizona, and they felt like he was coming their direction. So I think they put a little bird in some people's ears. I think that's what happened. But
probably one of California schools. Since he is California.
Listen, man, that's I ain't gonna speak on something I don't really know, but that's I think that's what happened.
Things happen. So you get down to Kentucky, and for folks who don't know, like Kentucky eats, sleeps, and breathes basketball. Like we talked about off there. I said I've heard the stories, saying that, y'all are rock stars. Like how is it being in Lexington?
Man, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing because, like, you know, it's every kid's dream to go to a big school, be a part of a historic basketball program or whatever sport they play for. But at the same time, like, there's just certain things we couldn't do. We couldn't live off campus. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't live off campus because they were so afraid with all the rules and regulation that people would be giving us benefits, you know, giving us gifts, stuff like that. Yeah, and they couldn't really keep an eye on it if we're leaving off campus. So that was like one thing, like, you know, didn't really experience in college. And because we are the only team per se in our area, like there's no NBA team, we got a lot of attention. Yeah, we got a lot of attention, man. So, you know, just being at the mall and one person see you, then 3 people see you, then 7 people see you. The next thing you know, it turns into an autograph session. You can't even really get done what you're trying to do. No offense. But you know what I'm saying? Like people, you know, you're a rock star to them. You're a rock star to them. So they, you know, they'll be like, man, I don't know when I'm gonna see him again. So, you know, I'm gonna get my opportunity now, which I totally understand, man. And I love the people of Big Blue Nation, man. They took me in with open arms, and you know, they really brought me in, like took me in, and you know, I'm always gonna have a place in my heart for Kentucky. But it was just like something you had to learn as you grew. You know what I'm saying? You go from, you know, people in your area knowing you to a whole state, and then moving on nationwide know you. You know what I'm saying? So it was just an adjustment, and you know, it was really, you know, you're either a Kentucky fan or you're a Louisville fan. Like it's one of the two. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the two. So like, you know, and most of the people in Kentucky are Kentucky fans. So you know what I'm saying? And you play for Kentucky, everybody around the state know who you are, from little kids to grandparents and older people. Like they know everything about you.
Then you said you told us on Clubhouse. You told us you called a quick story when you went to the football game.
Yeah,
and you had 2 instances with the kid and the picture taken, the picture gate. It wasn't a picture gate, but the picture taken. That kind of gives credit what you're saying about when you get noticed and Kentucky gets, you know, you get more things that you probably asked for that you didn't ask for that, but this is that you play basketball for Kentucky.
Yeah, man. I was at the football game, man, and this gentleman and his wife asked for a picture, and you know, his wife was like, "Oh, Ramon, you're one of my favorite players." I'm like, "Okay, thank you, appreciate it." And you know, you put your arm around their shoulder, you know, and they put their arm around your waist because you're taller than them, and they take a picture for them. But this particular situation, she grabbed me, but like the front hand was kind of like on my chest stomach area, you know, and she kept.
So go back to pretty much with the whole, but she grabs you.
Yeah, she you know, she grabs me and she has her hand like on my chest and her stomach, and she's like moving her hand, like kind of, you know, feeling on me a little bit. So I'm like uncomfortable. And so I didn't want to make a scene, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and so she goes, "Oh, you know, this and that, like, you know, it's okay." And her husband was like, "Yeah, man, listen, man, you could take her home with you want, man." You know what I'm saying? He was like, you know, if my wife were to end up with a UK basketball player, I could live with that. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, like, wait a minute. Like, wait, did I just hear what I just heard? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, I was so uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? But
like, really offered his wife to you.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just like that's just how they see UK basketball, man. Like it's really a religion, you know. And you know, like I had a little kid. We were doing a father-son camp. A little kid came up to me. He had to be like in 4th, 5th grade. Came up to me. I was like, "Yeah, Ramon, I know who you are. I know at the Adidas tournament in Tennessee last summer, you averaged this many points and that many rebounds, and you made all tournament team. And I noticed the year before when you was playing at the Whataburger tournament in Texas, you you made all tournament team there. Like, I noticed that you make all tournament team in every tournament you play. I'm like, wait, hold on. How do you know that? Like, you only like fourth, fifth grade. Like, he knew my stats and everything, like memorized.
That, well, like he got a card and looked at the back of it and read.
Right, like he knew everything. He knew everything.
So that, but I mean, like you said, that's all they got down there is basketball.
They love their UK sports, man. They love it.
And there's nothing like you said, because I went to school. I went to HBCU, but I went to school in Alabama, so I already know how that rocks down there between Alabama fans and Auburn fans. So that's all they got down there is that. And I've always said, if there was ever a professional team to come in Alabama, folks probably wouldn't care about them.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not.
I said, just like probably Kentucky, folks probably wouldn't care about it because they'll be
unless there's some guys on the team that play for the team, but they still not gonna get the bulk of the love like Kentucky gets.
Right. Kentucky go get all like I compare it to like Kentucky, Alabama are the main states. Kentucky basketball, Alabama football,
right?
And Auburn and Louisville are kind of
right underneath that. Yeah,
right underneath.
Yeah,
just off the fact of the success that they've had, the players that came out of there, the history they have, the pedigree of coaches that's been at those schools. Even though I hate giving Alabama any kind of credit because I'm an LSU fan. But that's another story for another day. I despise Alabama football, but I give respect where respect due. And I'm no credit. I'm glad credit. I know the credit probably would be laughing right now. Me giving them credit, but that is what it is. But
that's respect, man. You give credit when credit's due. That's respect.
Yeah, man. I hate them. But and anybody knows me knows that. Yeah, anybody knows me knows that. But we go forward. So now we into your sophomore year. You back. You know what I'm saying? You got acclimated. You grown. You probably grown to your body. Add a little more weight to yourself. You and Jody. You know what I'm saying? You and Jody in your sophomore year, y'all players. Was that Jordan's sophomore year? He had the 50-piece at Tennessee. Or
that was our junior year.
Okay, junior year.
It was our junior year.
Yeah. So we'll go back. We'll go there in a
minute. That was our junior year. Yeah, that was crazy.
I watched. I was like, Jordan's going off. But like I said, so sophomore, so you got saying Tubby's there. Tubby's still there. Y'all are.
They got rid of Tubby after my freshman year.
Also, you got Gillespie your sophomore junior year.
Yeah. And I had Cal my senior year.
So you had Gillespie your sophomore junior. So how was the transition of going from Tubby to Gillespie, and Tubby who's your guy who fought for you? Now you have a whole new coach. So it's like now you got to kind of go through that phase all over again.
Yeah, man, that was tough because one, I just got acclimated, just got situated that December, like officially, like I'm a UK basketball player December. April, Tubby's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole whirlwind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait, hold on. Like we just finished March Madness. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just lost in the second weekend or the second game of the weekend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just getting used to being a UK player, and the guy that has plans for me is gone. So at that point, man, like when Tubby got fired, like I ain't go to class that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like in my mind, I'm like,
are you gonna stay
Tubby really rocked with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew that he was gonna develop me. You know, not just me, but you know what I'm saying? Like I knew that Tubby was really gonna make sure that I was situated on and off the court. I was like, man, I don't know what this next coach coming in, what he think of me. You know what I'm saying? Especially since I just came in, I barely played. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like on the short end per se. And Billy G comes in, man, and he brings a whole different personality. Like him and Tubby are like night and day, oil and water. Like they just, and Tubby was like a guy, like he was trying to breed men. If that makes sense. Not only basketball players, but men. And Billy G came in on some, we finna work till our feet bleed, literally.
And that,
you know what I'm saying?
And that doesn't really translate well into college basketball.
Man, like, and one thing I will say about Gillespie though, that man is a genius when it comes to X's and O's. He is a genius when it comes to X's and O's. We just was battling a whole lot, man. If you talk to Jody, he'll tell you, we dealt with a lot coming from that direction. And but one thing about Billy G, man, I worked so hard, he respected it to the point to where he started me my sophomore and junior year.
So technically, you didn't like him per se, probably. You didn't like him, but like, all right, he's. And if you play sports, you have coaches that you don't like, especially new guys that probably come into your school, so you don't like him. Like, all right, bro, like he might not, I probably don't fit his plans or whatever, but you can't deny somebody who's working. Like you can't deny somebody who could play. Like you know what I'm saying? You can't keep talent off the court or off the field or whatever. So talent will always outlast, especially if you have somebody who's talented and who works hard. So you definitely can't keep them off the bench.
Right. I think he was trying to work me to the point to where I transferred. Like, cause coaches can't tell you like, I think you should travel. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like
they'll do there's a place of mind.
They'll do certain things to like be like, oh, he not rocking with me. And he definitely made it clear, like on so many different levels. And I really think it's because he just didn't know who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew who Jody was, you knew who Derek Jasper was, like the people in my class, you knew who Perry Stevenson was. If you just look at the roster and you look at the stats, you'd be like, oh man, like he ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like we can get somebody else in. But I don't think he really knew like the process of me getting to where I was going. So, dealing with him, like I was like, man, I'm not going nowhere. Like you literally got to tell me. Yeah, like you literally got to tell me like this ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Because just what I've been through to get there, like I'm not gonna leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought about it when Tubby was fired. I thought about transferring. But I was like, man, I've been through so much just to get here, and I just got here. So I just worked
until you been there for a year.
I ain't even been there a year yet. Like I got there Thanksgiving. I officially was a part of the team, able to gain access that the team had in December, and this is April.
So that's what 4 months.
December, January, February, March.
Yeah,
April, basically
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. Yeah.
And Tubby's gone.
Tubby gone. You know what I'm saying? Like Tubby gone. And I'm like, dang. And I can't go. He was going to Minnesota. I was like, I can't go to Minnesota because there's rules and regulation with that. So I couldn't go to Minnesota to play for him for real. And I'm like, man. So I was just like, man, whoever they hire, man, I'm just gonna work my tail off. Like I'm gonna see how this first year go. But I was like, man, I thought about transferring, but I was like, man, I just got here, man. God got me here. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't leaving. So I just worked my tail off, man. Worked my tail off. I knew that he wasn't really liking me like that, or it wasn't that he didn't like me. I just think he just felt like I wasn't somebody they necessarily needed to keep because I barely played. I barely played the year before. Like, he probably never heard of me.
He probably never heard of you. You saw you selling like
right.
He probably thought you were the walk-on or something like that.
He probably just thought like, oh, he's on scholarship. Oh, okay, well,
we don't need him.
It's not like, oh, if we and I would think in his mind he was thinking like we wouldn't catch any heat if he left. Type deal. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Jody decided to leave, if Derek just decided to leave because they actually were playing as freshmen and it contributed, to a high level, they'd be like, why is he leaving? Like, why would you let them walk out the door? But if I left, they wouldn't catch too much fuss at that time. So I started my sophomore year, man, and went from barely seeing the floor to playing 30-something minutes a game.
So what y'all end up doing? What was y'all end up? Y'all been a tournament all 4 years, so obviously because y'all Kentucky. But
shoot, we went to the NIT our junior year.
You did. I do remember.
Yeah, there was a lot going on behind the scenes, man.
as usually happens at schools that folks don't know, they see why some teams why teams have talent and they're not exceeding talent. They're not exceeding what they do. Now I realize there's probably a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. that folks don't know. Players might not like each other. Players might not like coaches. Other things might happen off the court that may prevent players from being reaching their full potential. We all know what that may mean. Read between the lines.
Right.
But so your sophomore year, what was your stat line for your sophomore season?
Man, my stat, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I wasn't.
Since you got more time, so you were able to put.
Yeah, I wasn't really a scorer. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would have games where I did score, but I wasn't like a guy they expected me to score 12 plus points a game. Mm-hmm. I was really like just intangible. Like I guarded the offensive best player, no matter what position they were. And like I could hit shots, but I wasn't expected to make shots consistently, if that makes sense. So I was like,
now you'll be a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, like I was like a 3-and-D, but I was more like a slasher, attack the basket. Mm-hmm. You know, there's multiple times where I was like 1 assist or 2 rebounds shy of a triple double. Multiple times.
You was a Draymond before Draymond.
Basically, I was a Draymond before Draymond. Basically, at the Kentucky level, like there's times where I had 9 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. 10 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Like I flirted with triple doubles multiple times. And this is before. This is before like people really paid attention to triple doubles. You know what I'm saying?
And that is hard to do in college basketball because granted it's 40 minutes, but it's 40 minutes. You have eight less minutes, and this is before the times of the fast pace what it is now in college basketball and NBA or basketball period where everybody's going on jacking up threes. You actually running plays and actually running sets.
Yeah, running sets. So I was like a guy, whatever was needed at that point in time. Like if we needed, somebody to make a tough night for the person, that was me. If we needed a third scorer, that could have been me. You know, if we needed another playmaker because they focusing on Jody or focusing on Patrick Patterson at the time, we needed somebody else to kind of run the offense. I played. Yeah, I was like in college. I played the 1 through 4 in college. So one game,
big guard.
One game I might be playing point, running sets. Just because of how they matched up. Another game I might be, running the 4. Pick and pop. Like I just was like versatile. So it was really whatever we needed to try to get that win that night.
So now so what you end up doing in that tournament the sophomore year?
We lost to Marquette my sophomore year, but we ended up making the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, man. Who was on that Marquette? Was that Jimmy? No, that wasn't Jimmy.
No, that was Dominique Jones, Wesley Matthews, and Jarrell McNeil.
Daquan Jones. He's from Daquan is from Cobb. He's from my area.
Okay, he's from your area. Okay.
Yeah, he's from his area. So as we fast forward quickly, that Kentucky game, not Kentucky game, but the Tennessee game, we was speaking on Jody, the 50 ball.
Yeah.
Bro was going off.
Yeah, bro was going crazy. So, the thing about Jody, man, is that he's real humble, man. And so, like, he's not the type of person to be like, I just made the last 4 shots, give me the ball. He's not that type of person. But what he will be like is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, at that time, there's a lot of times I had the ball in my hand to create. Mm-hmm. So he'd be like, Moan, like, see me on the weak side, da-da-da. I'm like, all right, bet, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So going to that Tennessee game, I remember, like, before the game, we almost got in a fight with Tennessee. Because at the time, like, DeAndre Liggins, he was coming out the locker room, and he came out the wrong side. This is his first time at Tennessee. He don't know which way to go. So he came out, like, the Tennessee side. And he, like, walked through the court to get to our side so he could warm up. And one of the Tennessee players really didn't like that. Felt some type of way, said something to DeAndre. So we all at half court, like, pushing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So the game flowing, and I remember dude was talking crazy to Jody. Jody like, oh, okay. So Jody hit a couple of trade pieces. Now he at the free throw line. And dude's still talking crazy. Jody hit the first free throw. Dude talking crazy. Man, this and that, blah, 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 talking crazy. Jody hit the second one. He goes, that's 50. And I looked up. I looked up at the scoreboard and I was like, oh, he really got 50. So one of the dudes, one of the big men, Smith for Tennessee, when we all looked up at the same time, like, oh, he really got 50. Man, he started cussing his teammates out. Man, y'all let him come up here. Da. Man, y'all gonna let him come over here and get 50 on y'all? Man, y'all some bums. Da. Like, ain't nobody ever gonna score 50 on me. Like, da. Like, going crazy. But they couldn't say nothing, and Jody just said, that's 50. And then he hit the third free throw to give him 51, and then he hit another Tracy. They gave him 54.
That's what I must say. I know you're plus 50 because I know I was watching. I was in college. Yeah, I was in college at the time. So we watching. Yeah, because that was an ESPN game.
Mm-hmm.
So we watching, and I'm looking. I was like, yo, Jordy going. You just like, you see players just hooping. Like, okay, who hooping?
Yeah, he kind of go crazy.
Okay,
yeah,
he's balling. And you
right.
looking, he's like, he hit the free throw line, and the little stat thing came out. I was like, oh, he had a 50.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And I remember I called my cousin because like I told you, him and Jody are close. Like that's his best. That's one of his best friends. And I called him. I said, "Yo, you see your man's?" He's like, "Then we talking about it." I said, "Bro, Jody got a 50." He's like, he said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, Jody got 50, bro. Like Jody
50,
is
like legit 50.
Like yeah, I'm not saying like 40. Rounding on like he has 50.
You're right."
And I was like, "Yo." And I think at that time, that was one of the greatest things I've seen in college watching. It's like, you don't see 50 ball, like you said, it's a 40-minute game. So it's not like you're getting that many shots up for real in a 40-minute game. But that's what I think that game really propelled Jody to get notarized for real, and to get his name out there because you had Kentucky, and that's the most points ever scored in Kentucky history. So, even all the players that came through there, the whole John Wall, the Boogies, the ADs,
Nobody's touched 50.
Yeah, nobody's touched 50. So if you look at the record books, you see Jody Meeks has the most points in history. Most people, unless you follow basketball, you're not going to know Jody Meeks is. Not saying in a disrespectful way.
But not in a disrespectful way, but it wasn't like he was like a John Wall coming out of high school or like a Anthony Davis coming out of high school. Yeah, he was definitely somebody that paid his dues. Definitely paid his dues.
So as we because we got to wind down a little bit. So now you good. How was it playing? Because you got Cal his first year.
Yeah.
So how was it playing for the legendary now Hall of Famer John Calipari? I heard stories.
Man, it was like a dream come true because before when I was going through that horrible deal with high school, there was an all access with Memphis. And it was I was watching Cal with the Memphis team and just going through the process and the camera all behind the scenes and his speeches before the game and what he's saying. He'd be telling, Derek, not Derek Rose, but he was telling, certain player this and telling certain player that, blah, blah, and, all that stuff. So when he came to Kentucky, it was like a weight lifted over Kentucky basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? And so for him directly, like, he's one of them coaches like, man, we playing ball, we're putting our work in, we out of here. Like, I'm not finna waste your time, and you're not finna waste mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, his practices don't be like those long drawn out. We just doing drills just cause. Everything we do in practice is because it's what we're gonna need for that next game. And once we got to SEC tournament play, man, we was in there 45 minutes and we was out. Like, he ran it like once we got to a position where we could determine how practice was going to be, he ran it like an NBA practice.
He really ran practice like shooting around. All right, we here 45 minutes from now. All right.
He'd be like, man, listen.
Boom, 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 boom. We out of here.
We out of here. Listen, we're going to have to play 3 games in 3 days, and we got to travel tomorrow. So this is what we're finna do. We're finna split up the guards and bigs. We're going to work on, they like to run zone, so we're going to work on our zone offense. We're going to throw the ball up, and we just going to play. And our practices were crazy. Like, imagine the starting 5 was John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Darius Miller, Patrick Patterson, DeMarcus Cousins versus me, DeAndre Liggins, a guy we had named by Darnell Dotson, Perry Stevenson, and Daniel Orton.
and they only got drafted first round too.
Yeah, like that was our practice. So could you imagine what practice was like when we played 5-on-5?
Ooh,
man, everybody getting dunked on.
So now looking at those first 5 made it. Daniel made the league. DeAndre made the league. Didn't Dotson make it too for a little bit?
Nah, he didn't get the opportunity.
I know he played. But he played
professional though.
Yeah, he played professional. So 7 out of 12 made the league, and 6 of them went first round. So we got froze. Hey, did you hear me?
Yo.
Oh,
he came back.
Okay, there you go. No, I was saying, so we got 7. So we got 6 went first round. 6 went first round. And when they came out, DeAndre made the league. Like that's 7 out of 12 dudes that made the league.
Right. And then 9 out of 12 is playing pro ball.
And that's because I think everybody still, I don't know. Is Dre still playing? I think Dre's still playing overseas. So
Dre's still playing.
And that's 10. That's 10 years later that, you know what I'm saying, they still playing. So the only person that's not, the only people out that started at the 6 that went first round that's not playing is Daniel.
Right.
Everybody else is still playing. Blair's still playing.
Yeah.
Boogie, John,
Pat.
Yeah. So they're still playing.
And Darius Miller, he's with OKC now. He's still playing.
And it's crazy. It really be funny. Like you see the wave of Kentucky that's really through the league. Like the NBA is pretty much the blue bloods. Like Kentucky do.
Right.
You want to see like in Kansas. So
and Kansas, really, for sure.
Yeah, so you really the infiltrate of first rounders or talent that Coach Cal puts through the league. Granted, like he says, I'll get you the league. I ain't gonna say good. No, what happened when we get to the league is on you.
Right.
Yeah. I'll get you there. So that's not. But now once you get there, that's on you. So, but yeah. So now we gotta, you know, what I'm saying we gotta end it off. We definitely. No, we'll definitely reconvene again because you know, so you got your joint out. I definitely hop on whatever. But I definitely appreciate your time, my brother.
Man, I appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Definitely let the folks know where they can find you on your social medias and what you got going on.
You know, right now I'm preparing for my next contract. You know, training and stuff like that. I am as well as doing a podcast show out of Kentucky. It's called The Harris Way. It's on Wildcat Sports Talk. You can find us on all the podcast outlets. You know, we're on Twitch. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Facebook. Just type in Wildcat Sports Talk. And, you know, I'm on there. I got my own segment as a part of the Wildcat Sports Talk. But all my social media handles are the same. It's Moni_Moan22. MONIE_MONE number 22. You know, 22 is my mom's number. So, you know, I keep that close to my heart, you know, for the sacrifice she made for me. So, you know, you can find me on all social media handles by that name. And, you know, I'm just out here, man, just trying to keep it moving.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that, brother. I definitely. So I know there's more too. So, like I said, we'll definitely get you on with like the other fellas. You know, we get the trio on. Me, Craig, and Terrell. But you know, so I do appreciate your time. And this is another episode of These Urban Times, presents Sideline Stories. I am Brandon Triche. You definitely find me at ceotriche. That is CEOTRICHE. And also at Kings Kicks ATL, KINGKICKZ for all your sneaker news and all that. And definitely follow the channel and the station, Live Hip Hop Daily. We'll be back again. Appreciate y'all. Peace.